Hello everyone, welcome back to more 5D chess with multiverse time travel. I just can't stay away, I guess. I started playing around. By the way, remember, I told you before the last episode that I played some games against the computer and I won, and then I played against the computer on camera and I lost. And so I was like, I better play some more games just in case before the next video. I'm just adjusting the size here. There we go. And so I played some more games in between and I won them. So really I ought to win on camera, right? That's my opinion. I thought maybe we'd try some variants instead of the standard chessboard. I've played one game on Timeline Invasion. It was reasonably fun. I won as black. No, yeah, I was black. But in fairness, on turn one, the computer made a disastrously bad play. He took this bishop and moved it here, and then he just pushed the pawn up, and either he's got to move it back or just give up the bishop for a pawn. So I basically started the game up a bishop. This time the advantage is less clear. So a thing to note that impacts maybe this game type more than others is that not being able to make a move on a board is what causes you to lose, right? Either because making a move would lead to check to be your king being captured, or because you can't make any moves at all, you're stalemated. And one way to be stalemated is to have no pieces. That can happen on any board, but normally, of course, you have no pieces. Like, what happened to your king? Someone must have taken it. Well, he could have gone into another dimension. Here, though, you don't even start with a king here. So if you could remove all the pawns from a board, your opponent will have to start sending pieces in from another board to help out. All right, anyway, what are we doing here? I'm not very big fan of this move because it's forking two pawns and I can't defend them both. I guess though this bishop actually is defending them both already, so it's sort of like, who cares? It's fine. I'm just going to give the knight a kick, and what is he supposed to do exactly? He could grab this bishop if he wanted, I guess, but I just retake with the king, which is fine with me. Or he can give himself up here, or he can go back home. Those all seem like positives to me, so that should be fine. What am I going to do to exploit what's going on here? I'd like to, first of all, note this obstructs my knight, so I'd sort of like to get rid of him. But I'd also like to free up my bishops. A move like this accomplishes both purposes reasonably well. It frees up the bishop and threatens to break up the center enough that my knight can get going. Maybe someday I'll push this pawn to let the knight out that way instead, but this seems like an okay start. Yeah, so he's chosen to jump behind the pawn, and he is indeed attacking my king. Which one exactly? I guess this one? Yeah. But it's not a big deal for me to just nab him, right? Actually, with my knight or my bishop. Now, okay, in this way he wins this pawn, right? I have to spend my move on this board dealing with that board, but that's sort of fine. I pick up a knight. Now, what would be more useful here? I think it's got to be a knight, right? So let's just go grab that. On the other hand, this bishop is going to take some work to develop. Whereas the knight is already kind of ready to go. So I think I'll actually send the bishop back now that I'm thinking about it. He has a fairly commanding position in the center of the board, attacking along, reaching both edges, I think. So let's do it that way. Okay. And now this pawn is actually a pretty serious threat, I feel like. Because he's threatening to take this rook, which would be kind of a bummer. And there's not a lot of very good places to put my rook. One thing that looks kind of cool is to go here, but this rook and this bishop are both actually defending this pawn, so it's not so good. Here's no good. I could go to either of these two spaces to rescue the rook. This one seems best because it's threatening to deal with the pawn. And if white, say, pushes this pawn, I can take and still be on the pawn. So this seems natural enough. My bishop is, at the moment, flummoxed, stymied, unable to do anything useful, in other words. I'd like to contest the center, but of course it's very well supported. So it's not trivial to support. The obvious thing to do is to push one of these two pawns. And I don't know if I want to push it 1 or 2 steps. I kind of like pushing it 2 steps. Because if you take en passant, I can recapture with, say, the bishop or the pawn. I'm not sure which would be better. But actually, if you take here, I can retake, and then your bishop just picks it up. So I think the double push is no good. This doesn't have that problem, because the rook, of course, can't move diagonally. Takes here, takes. And I have a pawn here who can be supported by this guy. On the other hand, it would be nice to more directly threaten the center to get my bishop more active. But, like, is moving him here or here really accomplish anything? Not really. So I think I'll go 2 steps here. Yeah, I mean, I guess still having a sad time with this bishop, huh? I thought he would be good, but actually these pawns are doing a great job controlling him. And yeah, you don't have to take either way. You can just lock it up. And now this pawn's a big threat. By the way, one place this pawn can move is here? Well, not here, but like here, I think. Right? This pawn here can be captured. Well, it's not white's move, but if I make a move, I believe white will be allowed to grab this pawn in the past. Let's just double check. Yeah, see? This square right here, it lights up green when I mouse over this guy. So they're allowed to move forward in timeline and sideways in time by 1 step to capture. So remaining in the same position, but kind of going diagonally in the other 2 dimensions. And a pawn here would be a pretty big issue, actually. So I'm not very happy about that, but I don't know what I can do about it. Anyway, I think I need to... Well, okay, so the thing I could do would be to, like, make some move that crosses the boards or something, but I don't know. I think I should just, like, grab this pawn, try to deal with this threat on the left side of the board. And, so I guess is the queen side for black? I'm not very good at chess, and obviously there is no queen here, but... and I think I just push here. I'm not doing as well this game as I was in the previous off-camera game when white just gave up a bishop for no reason, let me tell you. Okay, this is like looking great, actually. This pawn now threatens to march to promotion. But I'm kind of scared of that bishop. He seems like he should be able to intrude on this timeline. In fact, if I just capture with my pawn, the bishop could hop over here and take my rook, putting me in check and trading a bishop for a rook while freeing up this pawn, which seems bad. So, wait. Yeah, if I just leave my rook still, both of these boards will progress forward. So this will be sideways 1 file and forward 1 timeline. If I go here, he won't be able to do that. He'll be able to capture a past version of the rook if he wants. No, he's not a unicorn. He's just, or a queen. He's just a bishop. So this seems like a promising move. It means I'm not really winning a pawn, which I could do on this board, but the complications on this board make winning that pawn look unattractive. So that's a candidate. Huh. I think I just try to free up some space and get rid of this bishop transportation threat. What happened? Retook with the pawn. And now this bishop can no longer, like, say I make a nothing move. This bishop, he can... Why are you... Oh, I see. Now he can reach this rook via a different route. They're now on the same space, so he can move diagonally through time and timeline. Interesting. But that costs him a time travel, which is pretty expensive, so I don't super mind that. And I think I just want to move my rook up here. This is getting close to threatening this king. If I get my rook here, it puts this king in check, which is like, it's fine, but the king can actually cross dimensions to capture the rook, so I have to do a little bit more prep work. For example, by putting this knight here, I threaten checkmate instead, because the rook would then be protected. On the other hand, I guess the king is not going to stay there very long, because the only move I can have on this board that doesn't cost me pieces is this. And that checks the king. So, well, I don't know. He doesn't have to move. The bishop could block, I guess. Okay, push this pawn. That's fine. Blocked with rook for some reason. Interesting. I think I retake with bishop. And I'm happy to trade my bishop. Oh. If I trade my bishop, then I don't have any pieces on this board who can move, and I have to start teleporting others in. So that's actually kind of not great. And anyway, this rook is pinned. I can take it later if I want, right? So I don't think I should do that, except I don't have many other moves on this board that don't suck, right? I could just shuffle my bishop back to here, unpinning the rook for no particularly good reason. And I can't make any transdimensional moves because I have to resolve this threat on this board. So I do have to do something on this board, either taking the rook. Actually, you know, taking the rook is fine, I think. Because I don't mind moving either my rook or my bishop onto this board, I think. Yeah. Right, like suppose white does the obvious thing of recapturing with this bishop. My rook no longer really has a great plan of getting here, but or like you could try sending the rook over to this other dimension to stand on the space the bishop is currently standing on, but if the bishop has moved here, that square is defended. However, this bishop will not be too sad to just waltz over here. Oh! Yeah, this is actually a great move. This is forking the king and the bishop. Because this bishop is hanging and is being attacked by my bishop. And this board is in check, so you can't rescue the bishop. You have to capture this one, which gives me time to jump over here and pick up your bishop. Okay, I think I'm in pretty good shape now. Yeah, that was the move I expected. And what happened on this board really doesn't matter much. I'd sort of like to play knight here, but if I don't make a move on this, if I don't move onto this board, I just instantly lose. So that's obviously not an option. I have to go over to this board, and I think this is the best way to do it. Oh, shit. How bad is this? Yeah, you are attacking a passed king. Fuck. Okay, god dang it. Ugh. I forgot about attacking passed pieces again. So now, it seems I have to go back in time from this board to prevent this disaster from occurring. I'm not sure the best approach. It has to either be the bishop. Well, it has to be this bishop, right? And he has to be able to get here pretty quickly or else deliver checkmate in a hurry. And this is actually not such a bad move, I don't think. Although I don't think it's good enough to win, or to survive even, right? I have a good position here, it looks like. You know, I'm attacking this rook. But I don't think I can get to this board in time. Yeah, I can't use this pawn to capture diagonally either. I think I'm going to lose this. Ugh. Computer is so good at spotting these plays. Yeah. Like, the only play I can see... I mean, I guess I do have two plays on this board, but I don't think either of them is any good. I can take here, which seems normal. But then king takes, and this bishop can't get to that one in time. He, I have to land a bishop on this space on this move, which is obviously impossible. Should I have sent this bishop back less far in time? I don't think I could have, right? Like, obviously he could have landed here, but then, like, I don't know where he's supposed to go after that here. On the other hand, actually, I have leeway to create another timeline if I want, right? We've each created one, so I'm not behind on that. I could go back even further, or again, maybe. So that's something to think about. Oh, like what if I went here? Or I think here is pretty similar. Oh, I just get... On that board, I'm being checked, so let's not go back to that one. But here, right? That's actually in reach of this bishop. I can move 2 timelines up and 2 files to the right. No, I can't. Because this rook is in the middle. Right? Right. It does prevent white with the opportunity to make a mistake by capturing my bishop, because then you get out of the way, right? So that's a possibility, but is there something better? Like, okay, let's just double check that all the other moves are just death. Like oh, that's, of course that's illegal, you dummy. If I take this guy, white just retakes. Oh wait, he can't retake, can he? That would be illegal. Because the future version of this bishop is defending this one. Wow. And none of the other timelines are threatening at all. So I think that these two bishops are actually protecting each other? As far as a king is concerned, anyway. He's not allowed to walk in there, I don't think. And that means this bishop is unobstructed. He's guaranteed to maintain this space for next turn. Unless white can send a piece back from here, which he can't. Also, for what it's worth, I have the option to make a move on this board, but I don't really see a reason to do so at the moment. I'm kind of sad about the bishop being ready to move here, because I can't actually defend this space. Huh. I'm not so excited about my chances of winning, although I think I have deflected the immediate threat of checkmate. Yeah. Nope, I'm wrong. He just took it. Oh. Right, I'm defending the past version of this bishop, but not the space the king is currently on. So I can do this. No. I can't do that. It's only one timeline over. Right. So where the hell can this guy go? Here? Or here? Oh, that king's gonna be having a tough day, huh? Oh, but now I still can't reach this space. Because... Wait. Do I have to? This might actually be checkmate for white. Right? Here's a king, crystallized in time, being attacked by this bishop. Because white has to move on this board, and then there'll be a black board here, and this bishop is immune to capture from any timeline. Or this bishop, rather. They all are, but he's attacking this king to the right one rank and up one timeline. So the fact that on this board, white has checkmate no longer matters because I have a checkmate on this board, which happens first. White can't actually advance the present past this space right now. He'll have to find a time travel move on one of his other boards. And the only board he has is this one. No, he can move here as well, right? But neither of those can reach this bishop, right? This guy can't get there. This guy... Oh! This king could travel... Wait. I have to. Which bishop am I attacking him with? I keep getting confused about whether it's this one or this one. Oh, is it both? It might be both. Attacking different kings. This one can stand still. God, I wish I could just see what I'm allowed to attack, where this bishop could move if I like copied the board. But... like, there's a king here, right? I'm not sure. I think I'm only actually attacking one of them. And it's with this bishop. Ah! But this king... he can time travel to this board. But if he does, you won't be allowed to move this board. So this king will be still under attack. So... you can't bring this king back to deflect this future checkmate because there's a present checkmate, or check anyway, being made by this bishop, which you can't capture with any of these pieces. Am I right? Only kings can reach, and they're not allowed. So I think white is going to have to make a time travel move on one of these two boards that moves the present earlier than this. And there is no such move, because he only has kings. So I think this is checkmate, right? Oh, he has a bishop here. I didn't notice it. It looked kind of like a pawn. Okay. Okay, so where did you go? You went here and grabbed this bishop, resulting in this board. No. This board. Well, I don't even have any kings on that board. And all I have to do is prevent you from making some outrageously long-distance time travel, right? Or dimension travel. Which I don't think you could do anyway. But since I have checkmate on this board that's not currently preventable, like, okay, you can delay it again by time traveling. No, you can't. You can't even go back far enough. I guess you could try to time travel in this board. But I don't think there's actually anywhere you could do that. I'm just thinking, like, let's just deliver a check. Like, what are you supposed to do? This king can't time travel to anywhere. You have to resolve the check on this board. And you have to also deal with this check, which you can dodge, fine. You know, just king here, I guess. Or, I mean, okay, you can time travel again, right? You can send this king back in time to this board. Say, drop him here. And it won't yet be checkmate. But I'll still have this bishop here aiming at this king, and there's nothing you can do about it. Ah! You can't do that. For reasons? Why? Why can't white do this? And this. Excuse me? Okay, I see that I'm attacking more kings than I thought I was. Oh, right. So something that I looked at briefly, I don't remember if I mentioned, is that these bishops are kind of attacking future kings, but there was no board here for them to attack. Right, observe, let's say this king runs into the past like I was thinking. Now, right. This does move the present back, but it leaves boards active where it's my turn, where I'm threatening to take a king, right? You can, if you're only in check, not checkmate, you can step back in time as long as you do so not on the board that's being attacked. And more broadly, as long as you don't leave it my turn on any boards where I have you in check. And this king having to flee means making a turn on this board, which leaves it my turn on this board. So no matter how many timelines you create in the past, I can just take this king immediately. Okay, cool. Well, that was a pretty cool game, I thought, actually. Like, the two timelines to start with created some interesting interplay, even though we didn't do a lot of traveling back and forth. Considerations on one board influenced what was possible on the other. And we finally forked off... Well, this wasn't... I can't even figure out when the first fork was created, right? This was created eventually up here. So I guess what we want to find is the... I don't know, it's just impossible. I guess what you want to do is look at the... To figure out when a timeline was created, you don't look at stuff in... You look at like where it branched off to. This was the first white branch, and this was the first black branch. No. God, I'm so lost. Anyway, pretty cool position where like this bishop just sort of materialized out of nowhere, threatening mortal danger, and I had to go through like 2 different time travel steps to amass three bishops in a big old like knot, which were both threatening to resolve the checkmate against me, but also just sort of by accident creating a credible threat against the enemy, and not totally by accident. I did like say, oh, if I go here, I'm actually threatening this king, and it's earlier. But it wasn't my plan when I sent the bishop back. I was like, I'll try to figure out how to resolve this checkmate. It just so happened that I was able to deliver my own instead. Yeah, so like, it's a pretty cool game. Made it to turn 9, or sort of turn 10? Question mark. And I guess that's all for this episode. We'll just do the one game. They take a while. You don't want to start another one at this point. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.